Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday Summary. I'm your host, Kyle. With me, as always, is Steve. Steve's feeling a little under the weather today, guys, so bear with him. Give him all the support that he needs to keep him up and as positive as he usually is, guys. But, Steve, I just want to go right back to the conversation we were having before we went live. So, Declan Rice is a key player for them, though. Don't you think he should? He's captained the team before, but don't you think that Declan needs to be more aware? Or do you think it should have even been a yellow at all?
I mean, I'll just reiterate what I already said. So, by law of the game, it's a yellow. He is underneath the yellow card rules, I guess you could say. I don't know how I want to phrase it.
You mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's his second yellow, which equals a red. What Arteta said was exactly that. Like, by law of the game, he can receive a yellow card for that. But Arteta is upset with the inconsistency because there was a situation in the game where it was a dead ball and one of the Brighton players, it was, I think, Pedro, kicked the ball away.
Yeah.
In like a time wasting or to like break up the momentum
and didn't
strategy.
Get a card. Yeah.
And he didn't get a card. So what he was saying is there has to be more consistency. But as far as it goes with the red card, the second yellow, which became a red, it's within the referee's rights to give that. And it just makes me so happy to see Arsenal drop points. So, I mean, I think Declan Rice is a great player. I don't think he's a dirty player at all.
Oh,
2 yellows
Declan.
is...
You love him.
Yeah, I've liked him. I think 2 yellows is always a better look than a straight red. And yeah, they drop points, which is nice. Shout out to Brighton.
Shout out to Brighton, man. Always
Brighton
coming
beat Man United last week. I think they're sitting top of the table. Or no, whatever. They were at the time.
And yeah, I was watching all the games yesterday with, Man City. Haaland gets another hat trick, and it's weird, dude. I just don't want the guy to succeed. I'm not usually that's cynical, but I just don't want the guy to succeed. And there he goes. He gets another hat trick. And yeah, Steve, today is 199, bro. What should we do for the 200th show, guys? Let us know in the chat. Good morning to Oyvind. Liz is in here as well. Good morning, Liz. Hannah, Yogesh, Mom. Good morning, Aaron. Good morning to everyone. Shout out to you guys. Leave your thoughts in the chat throughout the show. Steve, you got any ideas for big 200, bro?
I do have a thought on this. He cries now, but we remember the Odegaard basketball game. That's the first thing I thought of, Oyvind, is when Odegaard dribbled the ball in the box next to Salah there. It's like you can only you got to take it. You got to be able to dish it and receive it. It goes both ways. Everybody gets affected by these types of calls. The Odegaard handball was a missed penalty.
Flat out.
Clear as can be. It doesn't get any more clear. Declan Rice's situation, again, as it pertains to the laws of the game and the rules and the regulations for the referees and cards, it's a yellow. It sucks, but it's a yellow.
Yeah.
So
be consistent.
Just be more consistent. And Arteta said it right. He said, look, at this level, it's amazing to me that there isn't more consistency. And I agree with that. It's funny to see him cry and whine about it, but there has to be more consistency, dude. The number 1 league in the world. And it's just abysmal. Every year, it's so bad.
David Coote yesterday, I was watching the Villa-Leicester game, was god-awful. He lost control of the game. I mean, the calls weren't necessarily bad, but I think it speaks more to the quality of a referee when they lose control of the game. You know what I mean? When the players start to get aggravated, they start to start pushing and shoving, all that stuff. I think that shows the quality of a referee, because ultimately the referee's job is to control the game. Keep it under, you can make bad calls, but as long as the game you don't lose control of it, that's kind of what it is. Hot Wings challenge, maybe. At 9 a.m, Steve, how you feel about that?
I would die.
What's your tolerance of spicy crap? spicy
I
things.
mean,
Like,
I can eat spicy food,
I mean, I
but
can do
like,
hot sauce, right? But like, I think the hottest I'll go is like a habanero sauce or something, which is like what, one step above like a buffalo sauce. But these people that do those hot wing challenges, bro, I wouldn't make it past the second wing.
oh, there's like cayenne, which is like Frank's Red Hot. I think that's like cayenne, and then habanero and jalapeno. They're all like there, but I think habanero is one step above. You're right.
Yeah, I'm like I get to single digits, maybe double digits on the Koval scale or whatever the hell the scale is. But these people are going to like 6 million Scoville. Scoville is what it is. Good Lord. Unbelievable, man. But we'll think about it. We got some input here. Maybe we'll do a hot wings challenge. Who knows? Maybe we'll just go shirtless. We'll just do the show naked, you know? All right. Guys, Federico Chiesa signs for 10 million from Juventus. In an absolute unbelievable deal, considering just a few years ago, we bid upwards of 80 million for the player, according to reports. And a lot of the things surrounding Federico Chiesa is that he's past his prime. But I want everyone to remember he's only 26, maybe 27. I don't know when his birthday is. All right. He did have a serious ACL injury back in 2022, I believe. But for Juventus, okay, I mean, once he made that move from Fiorentina, he was touted as one of the best young wingers in the world. And then at the Euros for Italy, he really showed that. And just one injury can kind of set him back, or at least people's thoughts of him back. And I want everyone to remember that this is a low risk, high reward signing. When you sign someone of his quality for 10 million, you can't beat it. Shaqiri is a great comparison. I like that a lot. In a sense of price, like risk to reward.
There's no risk really.
None. I mean, up to 12.5 million with add-ons, but dude, that's nothing.
Dude, we just got rid of Carvalho for what, 25?
I can't get over how Carvalho for 25, I can somewhat wrap my head around. Sepp Vandenberg for 25, Steve.
Dude. Well, one was 25, one was 30, wasn't it?
No. Maybe with add-ons it got up to 30, but Carvalho was like 17.5 up to 25 with add-ons, whereas Sepp Vandenberg was flat out like 25, which is unbelievable, bro. Think about that for a second.
Chiesa is twice the player those guys are.
And
combined. If you put Sepp Vandenberg and Carvalho and combine them into one player, Chiesa's still better. That's how I feel. I mean, that may be stretching it a little bit. I don't even know how you would like actually break that down.
Actually measure that.
Look, the guy's won trophies. He's played at a high level. And since he's come back from that injury, as far as I think he played like 40 matches last year.
He did finally play. Excuse me. Jeez. He did finally play more matches. He was out of favor there for a minute at Juventus, but yeah, I'm trying to pull up some stats here. I'm relying on you, Steve. You're usually the stats guy.
Here you go. He played.
Thank you. Jeez.
33 matches in Serie A last year.
He did 9 goals, 2 assists, and the year before 21, and then the year before that 14, which I'm assuming is the ACL year, and then the year before that 30 matches, which is the year he signed, 8 goals, 8 assists. So, and this is just in Serie A, and then you got the Coppa Italia, which he scored, Europa League, 1 goal, 1 assist, Champions League. He had a great year back in 2021. Let's just go to overall stats, man. Either way, I mean, you're looking at a guy who can play all across the front line, which is a key for us because we don't really until this signing, we didn't really have a backup right winger, would you say? And this guy is by trade isn't even a right winger, but it appears, I mean, he played most of his matches as a right winger, actually. I'm looking here, 93 matches starting as a right winger with 33 goals and 14 assists in his career. And then the second position he's played is a second striker. Left winger, he only played 61 matches. So this guy can play anywhere. He actually plays more on the right wing.
Yeah, I think it's tough to say what his true position actually is, but he can play on the right. We don't need him on the left, which is, I mean, according to Transfermarkt here, he's a left winger. But
yeah, and I'm looking at Transfermarkt as positions played, right? Not like his, they'll list him as a left winger, but 93 matches in his career as a right winger. Maybe not career. I hope this isn't career, but I don't know. Still
how do
pretty
you
young.
even find that on here?
It's literally the homepage, dude. You scroll down on the right.
Ah.
Yeah. A lot of good stats. Shout out to Transfermarkt, man. I reached out to Transfermarkt way back when I first started the channel when I was doing the player profiles. And I reached out to them for like I don't know what the hell I was doing because I don't even know that they can sponsor it. But I'm like, hey, I do player profiles. Like, sponsor me. I didn't know how big they were. I had like 27 subscribers. Oh my god, classic.
Yeah, I'm still not seeing this, but that's all right. Who cares?
Just search positions played in the search bar. Dude, it's under stats. It's literally under stats. Go to stats, and then it's on the right. It's like a right panel on the side. I'll go over to the chat while you're doing that. We got here. What do we got here? Oh, the Everton collapse. I know, guys. That was unbelievable. What do we got? Shayna, good morning. Derek, Yogesh, how's everyone doing? Alan the Cat, what's up? Another thing I want to talk about with Chiesa while you're looking for that, guys, if you guys watch the behind-the-scenes signing video, I've never seen a player as excited, just flat out elated to sign for the club, dude. He couldn't stop smiling. It was like the middle of the night, and it was, he told his wife, dude, he was like, yeah, I put on You'll Never Walk Alone as we're driving up to the training ground, like in the car. It's like he's just thrilled to sign for the club. And Arne Slot in his press conference actually said, like, the culture of the club, he's still learning about it, right? He's here. He's like, I know the culture of the club. These players push. They really want to push their limits to win trophies. And he said, we only want to bring in players who have that same mentality and who like that culture of work. And I mean, just everything I see, he was just in awe of the trophies. He was in awe when he was holding up his jersey. He couldn't stop, like, just grinning ear to ear. He was so thrilled to sign for the club, bro. And most players are just kind of like, I'm happy to be here. He was just couldn't stop smiling. I love that. I absolutely love that.
I'm not surprised. I mean, look at where he's come from.
What? Juventus is a big club.
They're in shambles, dude, though.
I know.
They've been irrelevant since 2020.
Yeah,
nobody really cares about Juventus anymore. Like, they used to win the league every year, I feel like, and they made it to the Champions League semis or semifinals like 3 years in a row.
Dude, they made it to the final back in, like, what, 2014?
Yeah,
they were solid for a few years.
Maybe
yeah,
I am thinking, and maybe it's even farther. Yeah, maybe it was even like 14, 15, 16.
Yeah, that was when Pogba was there. They were just, like, unstoppable.
Yeah. And I think that's why Ronaldo went there, was because he faced them in the final stages of the Champions League like 2 or 3 years in a row. That bicycle kick he had, everyone probably knows the one I'm talking about. That was against Juventus. And I just remember him meeting them in the final stages of the Champions League on a regular basis. And he probably thought, well, if I go there, I can still, like, maybe win the Champions League.
Yeah. Well, I also think he was on kind of like a tour of Europe. Let me play the top clubs kind of thing.
That's why I always thought he was going to go to Bayern.
Yeah,
just one more round at Bayern. Why not? And then he ended up going to United.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then United got rid of him and fell off a cliff.
Well,
lost 13 matches by Christmas.
Yeah, they weren't playing him, dude. Like, he was pissed. They were benching Ronaldo.
Yeah, Ten Hag has completely lost it. And we're going to get into United and all of that stuff today. But I just want to point out one thing that I saw. And I don't know how recent this quote was. I believe it was recent. But Ten Hag basically came out and said, look, we have brought in young players. We have developed those young players. And we have won trophies. I think the fan base loves me. Or something like that.
No, and he said in the same breath too. He said, "We have won. We're us behind Man City. We have won the most trophies in the last 5 years." He said, or something like that.
Since I've been here, or something.
Or so, yeah, it's 3 years maybe. He said, but which, when you put it that way, it's kind of like, oh, interesting.
But that's not true.
But is it? Isn't it?
Since he got there,
No,
this
no,
will
no.
be his third year.
I could have swore he said like in the last 5 years or something. But either way, keep going with your point.
Was it 3 years ago that we won both FA and Carabao?
Yeah.
And then 2 years ago we struggled.
It was Thiago. It was with we had the red with the orange lightning kit. So that was 3 seasons ago.
So that was before Ten Hag came. So what he said, I think, is right. Like, they have more trophies than everyone else in England except
Man
City. But he is the most delusional man in professional sports. I'm convinced of that. I used to think at times it was Jose Mourinho. But, man, Ten Hag, dude, the only people that want you to stay at United are rival fans. Rival supporters, because it just makes our lives a whole lot easier.
We got to be I don't want you to jinx us today, bro. You got to be careful.
Here's the thing. They always play us tough for the most part. Not always, but I mean, we've crushed them many times. We have their number, but it's still United. It's still probably the biggest rivalry we have, if you're not counting Everton. It's a different rivalry, though.
It's the biggest rivalry in England.
I read a story the other day that the reason it all started was way back. It was, and if anyone here can confirm or deny this, I would.
Are you going to talk about the canal thing?
It was something to do with.
It's the canal.
I think maybe, but there was something to do with, there was one match, like one play-in, like tiebreaker match that had to be played, and the winner made it into the top flight. And the loser did not. And we won that match. And at the time, they were called like Newton Heath or something like that.
What a name.
Dude, it's something like that. And
Newton
then
Heath.
Yeah. And then the rivalry just grew and grew and grew. And then for like 60 years, there have been no direct transfers one way or the other.
Oh my God.
And then Michael Owen played for both clubs. But like, aside from that, there's like nothing else noteworthy transfer-wise. He wasn't a transfer, but he played for both.
Dude, you might be right. Yeah, founded in 1878 as Newton Heath L&YR Football Club. Oh my God, that's crazy. So I think you might be right with that, and I'll take you at your word. I just remember watching a documentary on the rivalry as well. And in terms of the cities, maybe not the football clubs, but the rivalry between the cities, like Liverpool is a little bit more west, right? So like it was the first point of, I guess, trade, you could say, because it was like right on the water. And so Man United or Manchester was relying on Liverpool for a lot of trade, a lot of food, economically. And they essentially built the canal and started their own city, I guess you could say, so they didn't have to rely on Liverpool as much. And then as a result, the two cities kind of had this rivalry. That's from what I remember from the documentary I watched. But I like yours better. Newton Heath is way funnier.
Well, I think it's a combination of both. The cities themselves, like the actual cities, football aside, had this clash for one reason or another, probably a combination of many reasons. And then I believe the first straw was we beat them in almost like a final to get into the top flight. And then it just snowballed from there. domino effect of different things that added to the rivalry. And then ever since then, it's just been insane.
I love that.
It's so cool. It's so cool. But it's just a beef that I feel like never really had to be there, but I'm all for it. I love it.
Yeah, Jordan Welch says like New York and Boston. Yeah, I think that's a good comparison. I really do. Um, I so for me, I just picture Liverpool as like a working class city, but the thing is, I don't know anything about Manchester, right? And I've learned a lot about Liverpool, but um, what's weird to me, and this is kind of going back to maybe what we were talking about at the beginning with Arteta. I know it's kind of off topic, but it's just something I was thinking about. You see players and teams will like not fake injuries, but you know what I mean? Like they'll go down and someone touches them on the head and they go down, they're covering their face, right? And they're kind of like milking it and they're trying to get fouls or they're like arguing with referees, right? Why do I feel like as a culture, Liverpool as a club just doesn't have that mindset? Like, yeah, players will go down if they get injured, right? But we're not like flopping. We're not like faking injuries and running up to the ref when we don't get a call. At least maybe I'm just not paying attention and call me out if I am. But why do I feel like as a culture, Liverpool are just like, put your head down and just get the result. If you don't get the result, we have no one to blame but ourselves. Whereas other teams, like they're just crying. They're just like, if things don't go our way, we can blame the refs. We can blame, you know, I, am I making any sense?
You are, and I think I somewhat agree with that. A lot of it probably comes down to the manager and then also how good your team is. So like I feel like when I watch Manchester City, I get the same sort of feeling that they're not flopping as much, they're not complaining as much. But if you were to watch an Everton or a Burnley, you see a lot more of that because typically they're behind in games. They're struggling to keep possession. So they need every little break they can get. They need to break up momentum of the opposing team as much as they can. But a lot of it does come down to the culture of the club and the manager as well. Like, do you think Klopp would want his players to do that? Absolutely not. Slot doesn't seem like that type of guy either. And then I think the other part of it that came to mind is the chemistry. So, and I don't know how to articulate this, but like as it pertains to a team like Man United, right? Like Anthony, I would imagine Anthony doesn't have great chemistry with a lot of the team, but he would be one of those guys to me that I would view as a flopper, somebody that will milk the smallest bit of contact to the fullest extent. And I think it's because he's just not part of a cohesive unit. Like if Mo Salah has flopped 100%.
Right.
He throws his hands up in the air, he pouts, but then he gets right back in the mix. He's a respected member of the team. But I feel like Anthony is struggling so much to make an impact that he's more likely to try and add some drama to the equation. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And that's what I was getting at is a lot of the players on other teams, Anthony is a great example, are more like drama prone, right? They're more prone to if there's a little bit of contact, let me roll around. Like they like the attention, they want to create some controversy. Whereas, like you said, Salah, there's no and what as I was saying this point, I was thinking to myself, oh wait, Salah's flopped. So I got to be careful. Salah will absolutely throw his hands up, but it's more of an attitude thing for me. Like obviously every player has those moments where they don't get a call. I mean, everyone has that. I mean, that's just part of playing a sport. But Salah always has a smile on his face if he messes up, right? Salah's always hustling. He's always happy when his teammates score. Like it's a culture thing. The team as a whole, there's going to be isolated incidents, but the team as a whole isn't about that drama. They're not about like, let's cry and to try to get our way. They're like, it's only our fault if we concede a goal, right? I just don't see it. And just bringing it all back around to culture, I feel like right now, Liverpool's culture is the best culture, definitely in England, arguably in Europe. I mean, it's just why anyone wouldn't want to come to Liverpool. Maybe it's because it's so focused, so work oriented versus a lax environment like, say, a Chelsea, right? Where Chelsea might even be a stressful environment because you have so many players and you have no idea if you're going to start or not. You have no idea like what the first team is because it's completely unorganized. Or even Man United, where Man United cannot figure out who their best players are. They just there's no set culture of this is the kind of player we're looking for, right? They have their staples, their Brunos, their Rashfords, right? But Hoyland, Xerxes, Antony's been a flop, which they can't figure out what's going on at the club. They're bringing in new defenders all the time, and it just doesn't really make any sense to me. And one thing I do want to say about Antony, which is interesting. So he's just a flop. Everyone knows that, but he scored in his first 3 appearances at Man United, bro. First 3 appearances he scored, and I didn't know that. I forgot about
In
that.
what competition?
Premier League. He scored against
Huh.
Man City. He scored against Everton. And then he scored one more goal. I can't remember. Maybe it was Forest. I really can't
So
remember.
was that
Maybe
2 seasons ago?
it was either 2 or 3. I think it was 2 seasons ago. This is his 3rd season at United, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But it's kind
I
of
think
crazy.
it is. I think he came in January.
Yeah.
Did he not?
Dude, I don't know. 85 million. That's all I know. Queasy E, thank you very much for gifting the membership. Shout out to you guys. You guys keep the channel going with your support. We really appreciate it. What else we got? Jordan Welch says, that used to drive me crazy when Ronaldo played for Man United. His flopping was big pre-2008. That's a whole nother argument where you can talk about like Neymar, for example, like the ego associated with let me just flop and try to get my calls. But Neymar's in a different league. Like Neymar is you can't even call him a professional flopper, but he is a chronic flopper, diver, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah. I think I don't know if I'm articulating this correctly, but I think a lot of it comes down to team chemistry. Because
You are.
Anthony's on an island, right? Like when he's out there, I would bet a lot of the United players like don't even want him there.
Don't give him the ball, right?
Right, like we'll give him the ball. He's part of the team, but like what's he going to do with it once I give it to him? I bet you that's what Bruno's thinking. None of us really like Bruno, right? But he's a professional player. He knows what he's doing.
And he's good.
When he puts the ball out to Anthony, he's probably like, oh, God, am I getting this back? Is he going to lose this? Is he just going to dance and spin around?
He's going to cut inside and try to score.
Anthony can't score. He can't do much of anything. So he needs to make an impact in some way. If he feels a little bit of contact, he's going to go down and try to win a free kick because that's how he can bring an impact to the game. Now, when you get somebody like Diaz, who can dribble just as well, he can dance and carve people up, but he's a legitimate player in the sense that he's got work rate. He will track back. He will keep going for 90 minutes. He's a starter. He gets fouled. He'll go down. He might give you a little bit of a roll, but then he's up looking, okay, how can we play this dead ball quickly? He's not going to lay down and milk it to stop the game. He will draw the foul, but then everybody around him, the other 9 outfield players are looking at him like, hey, okay, you drew the foul. Now we've been working on this in training, what we're going to do when this happens. I think if Anthony tries to draw a foul, the world basically stops. Like there's no cohesiveness where other players will look at like Diaz and say, okay, nice, you drew a foul, but we have to move on with the plan here. So I don't know how this got into like a
no. That's what a podcast is, bro. Like
nothing is expected of Anthony. That's the thing. Nothing is expected. Like when he flops or rolls around on the ground or loses the ball, he will pout. And it's almost like Man United have to move on with 9 outfield players instead of 10 until he gets himself together. That's what I feel. And again, hopefully that's coming across the right way. I'm trying to
No,
figure
it
out how
is.
I can do it.
You've articulated it twice now, and I completely agree. I love how you actually talked about that, to be honest with you. I want to pull up some of Man United's stats here without all these pop-ups, and hopefully it doesn't freeze the stream at all. Let me pull up for this season. And also, we might be wearing our upside-down Nike swoosh kits today. Or the black ones. I would love to see the black kits, but I think we might wear the black kits today. But the evidence is showing, based on, the preview and the programs and stuff, we might be wearing the like off-white one, the cream colored one with the upside down Nike swoosh. If there's any, thank you, Oyvind, if there's any underlying reason why the swoosh is upside down that I'm missing, please let me know, because it looks terrible.
It's a nice kit, I think.
Oh, it's a nice
kit.
But
that part of it is weird, but it's a nice kit.
It's just weird. But is there a reason for it?
Aylor agrees.
All right. Oh,
and maybe this is why.
What? I'm looking. Hold on.
Maybe we can't wear black because Onana's goalkeeper kit is black.
Yeah, it's probably right.
In their red. I don't know.
Yeah, it's red, white, and what, black socks? They have black socks?
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's the white one today. Yeah. So I wonder what our shorts, they're definitely not white. They're usually black, right? When we have a white top, we usually have black shorts. I'm assuming that's what it's going to be. I haven't seen the shorts for this kit because I feel like we've known about this kit for a while, but I feel like they just announced it.
It just came back. And yeah, I believe it's black bottoms.
Okay. Why do we do this? I feel like other clubs, they announce all the kits at once. I could be wrong. I honestly, we like wait until the game before we first wear the kit to announce it. We just had the white kit come out, but all right.
We don't need to market this stuff. I feel like it's the focus is just on football.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like a kit drop for Burnley's a big deal. Like you hear about it in the news.
No,
and then there's videos all over the internet for it. Like Aston Villa, Liverpool. It's like all of a sudden you log on to Instagram and there's the whole team in a photo shoot.
No, bro, there's a whole thing. It's big for every team though. And there's a theme to it too. There's always a theme with Liverpool, like retro, or it's a testament to a certain time in the club's history or something. There's always a theme to the release, which is why there's a photo shoot, and they're new every year, which I wish American sports did more, to be honest with you. I like the new kit every year because it adds a little bit of excitement to it. It's not the same thing every year.
No, it does. It does add some excitement. Yeah, and like Kyle's saying, I think the NBA switches it up a little bit more, but the NFL,
same thing every year.
It's a lot of times it's the same damn thing for 10 years. Like the New England Patriots, the team that I follow, I'm pretty sure they had the same. They changed it in 1999 or 2000, and they kept it until 2022 or 21. 20 years, 20-something years. They had the same.
And you guys jersey. Recently just combined the new dark blue with the retro shoulder stripes, right?
Well,
that was the change.
The jersey that we have now, it's not a kit here, it's a jersey, is the third or alternate jersey that we would wear once or twice a year for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
They just turned that alternate, they call it an alternate jersey. Usually teams wear
color rush. That's what they call it.
Yeah, color rush. That's what it is, Kyle.
Yeah.
The color rush became the jersey.
Yeah. And I wish the Chiefs did that personally because our all reds are so badass. I love the all reds.
They're so much better than the red and with the white.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people think the Chiefs have some of the worst, I mean, not worst, but just most basic uniforms. I definitely get why, but I just like the color combo. Back to Liverpool. Halor says, I think both our second and third kits look awesome. Our first kit, however, isn't the sharpest compared to earlier years. I actually agree with you. I think our first kit, one, is a little busy, but I'm just like whatever at this point, because when they're on the pitch, I don't really care. But up close, I'd never buy this kit ever. I think it's just a kit. But the black kit, and you're right, the off white, and we'll see that today. I like them. I think finally we did a black kit. I mean, oh, the black is so clean. I love a black kit. When was the last time we did an all black kit? Was it like 16, 17?
No, it was 20. We were with New Balance still.
Yeah.
It was
16,
black
17.
with like lime green-ish, teal, black and teal. All black.
Black with teal. No, bro.
I'm telling you.
Well, I got the year right because we went to Nike in like 1890. Oh no, that was still New Balance too. No, dude, that's what I'm saying, Aaron. It was Coutinho's with the red slashes on the ribs. That was the last black one. It was the year we signed Mane.
We've had two since. We had a black Nike. So we had
all black.
You're thinking about it wrong.
All black.
It was black with the teal New Balance and teal Liverpool.
Oh, with like the checkered. Okay, you're right.
Yeah, with the teal strip on the sleeve. That was
the one where Mane and Salah got in the fight over. I remember that kid. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
And then there was another one, which was black checkered with Nike, I believe.
Oh, that one was ugly though. I don't count that
red,
as all black.
I mean, it was pretty much all black. I mean, there was a red stripe on the side.
Yeah, but that was the 7-2 year. Okay, you're right. I forgot about those. So that one, I don't count that as black because there was a lot of other colors in it. The one you're talking about with the teal, I do count that as black. Okay, so I was mistaken. Okay, so we had a lot of black kits. Well, I've always liked the black kits. I really do. I wish we were wearing the black kits today, but we'll see what it is. So Steve, you going back to the results you were talking about. So Man United have lost to Brighton in the first game of the year. Or no, not the first game of the year. Yes, first game of the year. And then, or no, was that the second game of the year? That might have been the second. And then the first game of the year, they beat Fulham. Okay. So they beat Fulham and lost to Brighton. Okay. So that puts Man United in what? Mid-table? 13th. 13th in the league.
Let's actually find the table somewhere.
Yeah, I got the table up right now. We're in I'll share it.
So if we beat United today, they will go to 15th.
Some say it is so.
They will likely drop below West Ham.
Yeah. Well, West Ham, they
have a negative
played
1
yesterday.
goal differential. Yeah, so if we beat United by 2 goals, United goes to 14th.
Yeah. And of course, early on in the year, the table is kind of all over the place until it, gets set in stone. I'll tell you one thing that is absolutely hilarious is this right here. Right here. And rightly justified. And the game yesterday, Steve, did you watch the highlights? I'm sure you saw it all over social media.
Yeah, I saw the 3 goals at the end.
Absolutely legendary. Because, I mean, Everton, to be fair, I think it was up until the 86th minute, completely dominated the game. They played extremely well. And, dude, it just, a utter collapse. Just a complete collapse. And it makes my heart so happy Someone said it in the chat here too, that Everton are going to open their new stadium in the championship. It's way too early to say that Everton are going to get relegated, bro, but they have been skating by the last 2 years. And when you look at their team, right, at least based on the match yesterday, nobody is just good except for their new signing. They have a new signing, Ndai, I think, from Marseille. He looked electric. He looked really good. But Everton are in shambles, dude. I mean, you got to figure it out, guys. You're already having -8 goal differential in 3 games.
The thing that makes me the happiest is that Pickford has let up the most goals in the league. For a long time, you could say, I mean, even when they've struggled in these last couple of years, like the goal differential typically wasn't as bad as the other teams around them. They've had like points deductions and all this other stuff.
Oh yeah.
But true. Like they have the worst goal differential and they've let up the most goals. So like where they deserve to be where they are. They are the worst team. And Pickford is in shambles.
Yeah. Oh God, I can't stand that guy.
You could always say, oh, well, Pickford's at least solid. He's kind of keeping him in it. He's let up the most goals.
Yeah, but dude, would you feel confident with Michael Keane and Tarkowski protecting you?
I mean, Tarkowski, he's been good throughout his career here and there.
Yeah.
But man, he's probably regretting that move.
Michael Keane? By the way, the lineup just dropped, I think. James Pearce, 42 seconds ago. I'll share my screen. Why do I feel like everyone hates James Pearce all of a sudden? Maybe not all of a sudden, but like a few years ago, man, he was like the guy. Now everyone is just like, screw James Pearce.
Well, he reports on more than just Liverpool now.
Yeah, he did take that job at the Athletic. So we got Allison, Trent, Van Dijk, Konate, Robertson, Gravenberch, McAllister, Soboslai, Salah, Jota, Diaz. Bro, Slot is just a savage. He's just like, I do not care about rotation. I'm playing my best player.
No Chiesa, which doesn't surprise us.
Yeah,
but Gomez is back in the mix.
Here we go.
On the bench.
Yep.
I know he wasn't there the first match. I don't know if he was there for the second one. Let me see if he was on the bench for the second one.
I don't think he was. I think that might be the one you're thinking of too.
Oh no, he was. He was on the bench last week.
So these kits are fire, by the way. When I can't see that upside down Nike swoosh, it's one of the nicest kits. Oh, that's clean. Subtle yellow. All right, and I just want to get everyone's thoughts on this. What's everyone's thoughts on the liver bird badge, like going minimalist instead of the whole crest? What's everyone's thoughts on that? Steve, do you have a take on that?
I mean, I think Kara brought it up recently, Jamie Carragher.
Yeah,
he wanted them to switch back. And somebody posted it in the chat here earlier. To me, it doesn't really matter to me. I mean, I like the classic, the history of the crest, but it's not something that I think about, if I'm being honest. It's not something that I dwell on or spend time thinking about. So whatever they want to do, I'm cool with.
Yeah. Well, personally, everyone, branding wise, there's been a huge shift all over the world to a very minimalist design. You see it everywhere, from food companies to football to car companies. Everyone is getting rid of the fluff. And I think that was really just the whole idea here with Liverpool. However, the classic crest, who doesn't love the classic crest, right? I mean, I got it right behind me. I mean, it's classic. You get everything with it. But the minimalism, I do kind of like it. I really do. I think it's kind of badass. And it's kind of just like, I don't know. I've always been a fan, though, of the circular logos, like Chelsea and Man City. Like, I like when there's like a circle Just simple, and then you put your badge in there or whatever. I've always liked that. But hey, we're riding with it. FYI, yeah, no, that's old news though. They weren't trying to patent LFC. They were trying to patent the word Liverpool. Minimalist looks better across digital platforms. I remember them releasing that as well. Yeah, that was kind of the whole idea. I do remember that. So that was my take on it. But Steve, thoughts on the lineup?
That's what I would have expected. I love it.
It's strong lineup.
I don't think you'll see this change, Kyle.
No, I don't. That's what's crazy, man. I don't think we'll see it change. I think unless we're playing in the cups, I really don't think we're going to see it change.
Within reason, everybody's been playing relatively well. So unless he determines somebody needs a break or somebody picks up a knock or somebody's form drops, I'm just saying, assuming that things keep going the way they've been going, I don't think you'll see this change. Much. Can't be this all year. It's just impossible. But until something else gives, I don't think you'll see this change much. Every match is that important.
Yeah. Now, what about in the Champions League, given the new format where we're playing, I think, 8 games instead of 6, or maybe 10 games instead of 6? I know some people over here in the chat are talking about that. Pretty crazy who we're playing. The teams we're matched up against. We play Leverkusen, we play Madrid. I think we play City as well.
I don't think we play City, but I
we
think
don't
we have
play
Milan.
City? Maybe Milan.
No.
Okay, let me. I like.
We play City and Madrid in the same week. Maybe that's what you saw.
That's probably what
But
that's
City's
what it was.
In the league.
You're absolutely right. So we have. Let me share it here. Whoops. So we have Milan. Why do I always want to say Bologna? RB Leipzig, Leverkusen, Madrid, Girona, Lille, PSV. And that's a pretty difficult draw.
There's some really weak teams in there though too.
I mean, weak, but
I think it's solid.
But top. It's not like we're playing freaking Lokomotiv Moscow, bro. We're playing PSV and Leverkusen, Leipzig. These are solid. Lille just won the league 2 seasons ago. I mean, it's kind of crazy. But that week is going to be crazy. Madrid and City both visiting Anfield in the same week. Oh. Love that.
I don't like the new format.
Not a fan? So what? Elaborate.
I don't like change.
Yeah.
Just don't really like change. Just keep it the way it is.
You're a man of habit.
Maybe I will like it once we get going. But to me, it just seems like a lot.
Well, the reason they changed it is because it's kind of the whole idea behind the Super League, right? So you had with the group stages, they were tired. There was just this consensus of you could look at a group and with pretty decent confidence, you could say, okay, those 2 teams are going to go through. Every once in a while, you have an outlier like Man United finishing bottom of their group last year, right? So you have things like that. But they wanted more top profile games that didn't have to rely on teams advancing through different stages, right? So you didn't have Madrid and Liverpool meeting in the last 8 or the round or the semis or something like that. They wanted it to be non-group, I guess. So they added more teams, more games, and so there's a higher likelihood of bigger teams playing each other, which I kind of like, but it's just more football, more higher chances of injury. It's just kind of crazy. They keep adding games. I mean, there's another international.
How many more games is it though, really? 2?
It's 2 extra games, but they're just going to keep adding them, dude.
Yeah.
There's always going to be more games. I mean, after today, there's an international break. We just finished with the Euros. It's just, I'm just always, I'll die on this hill. There's too much. These guys play way too much. They get 2 weeks off. If you play internationally, you get 2 weeks off a year. Is that not absurd? It's kind of ridiculous to
Wild.
me.
It is. It's not even the games to me. It's the training.
Well, yeah. I mean,
It's the training that's daily. If they only had to play games, it's not that bad. It's like twice a week at max. It's the training. It's all the training and the preparation and the tactical stuff and the fitness
yep.
that gets to you.
This is what I was at. The top teams don't really face each other until the knockout stage unless they're in the same group. And that was kind of the whole idea, I guess. By expanding the amount of games you play, you have a higher likelihood. RDO McDodge, what a legend. What a legend. And yeah, Curtis Jones is out today. First injury, I guess you could say. So he's injury prone. Steve, predictions for the game, bro. It's time. We got an hour till kickoff, man. Man United, Liverpool.
It's at 11? I thought it was 11.
It's at 11. Yeah, so did I, but it's at 11.
Nice. My gut is telling me 3-1 Liverpool. But my brain and my heart want another clean sheet so badly.
So bad, dude. That's such a statement. If we can keep 3 clean sheets with a new manager,
I'm going to go 2-0, another 2-0.
Oh, I love that. God, I love that.
That's going to be my prediction. But my gut is telling me 2-1 or 3-1.
Oh, dude, I'm going to go 3-0. I'm going to go 3-0, guys. We're going they're just not going to know what to do. They're not going to know how to handle it. I think pound for pound there might be 1 or 2 players in there that get into our side. Live and Adventure 3-0 United. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
You're entitled to that. So who scores for United? That's what I want to hear.
Yeah. Let's hear that.
Yeah. 3-0.
I mean, if you were to win 3-0, nothing I could say.
I mean,
if United were to win 3-0, there's
you just got to sit back and take it. You're like, damn, we just lost to United 3-0, you know? I mean, what United have going for them is that it's at Old Trafford. Liverpool are under new management, right? And I think those are the two, those are the 2 main factors. Tony, of course, no prediction. Wouldn't expect anything other than that. And I feel like that's going to be a big thing. But the only person who doesn't really know what to expect is Slot. I know in his press conference, Slot said he's played there once before, but it was back when he was managing like AZ Alkmaar or whatever the hell that club is. So he's never played there with Liverpool. So if anyone's going to be nervous, it's Slot. I feel like the players know what to expect. But I need a big game from Gravenberch today. He's been solid the first 2 games of the season. Today is a statement day for Gravenberch. If Gravenberch plays well today, Steve, we're talking about Gravenberch as probably our second best midfielder behind McAllister. I can see it right now. This is a big game for Gravenberch because he needs to be present in that midfield. And size-wise, I think we have the advantage. I mean, Mainu's probably going to start. We got to keep an eye on Mainu. I think Mainu's probably their best player on current form. But, oh, man, I'm getting excited for the match now.
Mainu is their best player.
Yeah.
And I don't even think it's close.
Philip Bidwell, 3-1 Liverpool. No surprises. Oh, Steve, any closing thoughts, man? I cannot wait.
I wanted to see United's lineup.
Yeah, let's do that.
To see if DeLitt was going to start and those guys.
I think you'll see Xerxes up there. I don't think they have another choice. But
let's see.
Yeah, Philip, I agree. It's definitely his first real test.
Okay, here it is. Yep. So
what do we got? Share it.
Onana, Mazraoui, DeLitt, and Martinez, Fernandez, Rashford, Xerxes, Garnacho, Casemiro, Dalot, and Mainu.
God, I hate they do it in the numbers now. It just
So I
give me
think it's like the same as it was. Garnacho's in
so Garnacho's
and
is Rashford playing?
Delit. Yeah, Rashford's in.
So Xerxes isn't.
Xerxes is as well.
Okay, so Garnacho must be playing on the right. So hold on, you got Fernandez, Xerxes, Rashford, and Garnacho.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And so
Mainu,
Mainu and Casemiro.
Casemiro. Okay, that's expected. And then Delot on the left, and then their right back is Mazraoui.
Mazraoui.
Okay,
Delit and Martinez in the middle.
okay, all right. Yeah, bro, just I think the three players you got to look out for, man. You gotta control Mainu, Fernandez, and Rashford. Rashford on the break. That's when we get punished. Is on the break. If we give the ball away and they break, they're gonna play with the wings, man. They're gonna try to stretch the field with Garnacho and Rashford, and that's the only thing that makes me nervous, really.
It'll be. I mean, it's a big game, and it's even bigger for them. They cannot afford to lose again. They're gonna pull everything out of the bag today.
Yeah, they
And
are.
I think we're just gonna play our game, and it should be enough. But they are home. So I wouldn't be surprised with a draw. I would, however, be very surprised if we lost this match.
My key to this game, like I said, control those three, but also control possession. Okay, keep the ball. And what I love is I've noticed this over the last two games as well, and you probably have. With the elimination of the high line, even if we do play players higher up the pitch, the amount of players we get back behind the ball when the other team breaks is just so awesome. It's so refreshing. The commentators were saying it all last match where every player, we had like 6 guys back behind the ball when the other team was breaking. That is something we're not used to. I mean, I'm used to seeing Van Dijk and Trent like running back trying to defend. It's so awesome that we have so many players behind the ball defending because I'm telling you, Man United, if they're going to win this game or cause us any trouble, it's going to be on the break. I don't think Man United are going to have many bouts of possession with us in a low block against our own goal. I just don't see it. I think we have too much size, too much speed, too much talent. We're going to win the ball back. We're going to win the midfield battle today. And we're going to make mistakes with Man United on the break. So the keys of the game: control the break, get men behind the ball, and control their playmakers. Mainu, Bruno, and I guess Rashford you could call a playmaker. Garnacho's a decent threat as well. So
If there's any match that Anthony's going to score, it would be today.
oh God, you're
Crazy
so
things
right.
happen in these matches. So
The
we'll
Subamani
see.
just scores immediately. Absolutely ridiculous,
Like
man.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'd turn the game off. I'd be like, "Are you serious?" I'd call you. I'd be pissed because you're like, he can't score. It's like, God, Steve.
I mean,
Come
he
on.
scored against us last year in the cup, I believe.
It's just ridiculous, man. What the guy sucks. But you're right. If there's a game he's going to score, it's going to be today.
He only plays because he was very, very expensive.
Yeah, he
And
has
like Ten Hag has this delusional thought process that he needs to bring everybody that he coached at Ajax to United as if they're good enough.
to. Bro, he has half
And
of
they're just,
Ajax.
dude, they're just not. They're just not.
It's absolutely crazy. He has half of Ajax. Literally half the team. There right now. So, Steve, great show today. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. Any closing thoughts, man, as we prepare for the big match today?
Must win.
Must
Get
win.
in, and get out. 3 points.
3-0,
Moving on.
3 points. Absolutely love it. Couldn't agree more. You guys heard my closing thoughts. Again, thank you to everyone who tuned in. Make sure you tune in next week as well for the Sunday Summary every Sunday. Appreciate the support. Queasy, thank you for gifting the membership. Shout out to all of our members, Tony, Liz, Hannah, Oyvind, all you guys. You guys know who you are. Appreciate it. Until next time, Reds. Take care.